Yeah, exactly. So 3, 2, 1, and Nunia remembers me. I am the rock god. Well, not really the rock god. I am the master of disaster. I think that's a better term for me, right, Tetcher?
I wouldn't say the master of disaster. You are a byproduct of it.
Wow. Wow.
Well, that's one of the most brutal ones I've done. I'm sorry.
I'm going to need some aloe vera for that burn. In any case, we're going to be playing on the Dragonshire. For those who are not familiar with the Dragonshire, that means it basically comes down to you have 2 shrines on the outsides of the map, the top and the bottom. Actually, we're already in game, so I can show it pretty soon, as ESC is in the blue trunks here. Sanira running the Stitches, Liquid running the Vala, Uji running the Malfurion, Snow running the Zeratul, and finally Nunia running the Tyrants.
And on the right-hand side, it is, once again, Team Kick incoming! And gathering in the mid lane, we have Tazdingo on the Sergeant Hammer, Alex the Pro G on the ETC, Rollick is running the Nazibo, Vernafil is on the Tassadar, and it is Sheep on the Ufa.
And to talk about a little bit more about the things that happen on this map, especially the objectives, there are 2 shrines, the Moon and the Sun Shrine. Sun Shrine in the top lane, Moon Shrine in the bottom lane. If you control both of these shrines by standing on top of them, you activate the dragon statue, and at that point you have to move your hero over.
Oh, I remember this. We're currently seeing a strategy which we've seen by ESC and by a couple other teams of harassing that fort. Harassing the fountain in the mid lane. We can see it's already taken a bit of damage. And we also see creep blocking coming in from ESC, but it doesn't appear to have worked because a couple creeps slipped through and the wave isn't actually pushed up at all.
Yeah, so for now in the top lane, it's Tazdingo facing off against Snow. First abilities have already been picked up. Long-range artillery coming out of Tazdingo, where he deals more damage if your opponent is further away. On the other side, it's Zeratul with a greater cleave, so, well, all in all, both looking for that little bit of additional damage here, and of course Snow for the AoE. Actually, Nunia in a lot of trouble!
Wow. Wiped out.
What happened?
I don't know, I didn't even see it. I have no idea what happened.
I just saw him getting locked up here. Oh, the hook onto Tazdingo, the booster rocket's already gone. Actually, they aren't. They're still active.
Yep, he's boosted out of there, keeping himself safe. Snow currently heading down to the mid lane, but Vonnefield is clearing up the way.
Oh, Yui in a lot of trouble here. Look at the damage being tossed onto him. The Lunar Flare actually saving Malfurion there. But, yeah, Tyrande and Malfurion on the same team. That's always good lore. I like some good lore. Actually, Brog looking for the engage here. Here's the power slide on Liquid. Liquid getting the CC train here. Here it goes. Choo-choo. That's Volatil just barely able to hit Liquid. It wasn't enough, though.
Yep, very, very close. Neither team able to grab anything. For the moment, though, both teams just clearing waves. Like you said, First Blood is already in favour of Team Kick incoming. And they're obviously going to want to try and get it again. Alex Progy still hanging around in the spot lane looking for another engage. There we go. Just using his sheer presence to scare everyone back at the moment. Having a look at the early talents, we can see that ETC taking the Echo Pedal, which is
Nunia actually getting hit once again. The C train and the body block train. That's the end of Nunia. However, Zeratul coming in from the side, Vonatil immediately Tastar following it up with another Side Storm. So while Zeratul was there to at least equalize the amount of players that both teams had in position, the sudden appearance of a Tassadar was enough to force Team ESC back, and 2-0 now for the team of Kick.
Yep, we actually saw an amazing zombie wall from Rollick there, able to block off the complete escape route of that bush entrance to the shrine, and that put everything in their control pretty nicely. Alex Pro G looking for Liquid, but Liquid able to outrun him on the mount, so he does not get locked down. But yeah, for now, having a look at some of the talents, we have the double healing ward coming out from Tyrande and Malfurion. No 2 in sync, and we also have the Pierce ability from Tyrande for X Division. Stitches going for the full tankiness with Chew Your Food for the extra heal. Oh, Yui.
Oh, Broj coming in straight onto Yui. Yui in a lot of trouble.
Zombies?
He's going to get body blocked, but the zombie wall isn't quite enough. The power slide does lock him down for a few more seconds, but the CT train...
top lane.
Oh, top lane?
So close.
Last thing was so close.
Yeah, this is... Yeah, that was that was very close, but we didn't see anyone get caught down. Neither team.
Mid lane
able
now.
to get Dragonite.
Yeah, Snow was able to walk away. The Shimmer wasn't enough to force Pro-G to actually go in. Sonera here going to find the Pro-G. They're at least going to demount him, and now they're going to put down some damage, but he is very tanky to Hook. Nice sidestep there by Alex.
Yep, Hook does not land for the moment. And Sonera looking for the opportunity to try and raid this. Oh.
And finally, it's Team ESC getting a kill here.
A lot of kills on this in this game so far, going down very early. For now, Sonera going to be grabbing that top shrine back to put it, both shrines in fact, in favour of his team. There's not going to be likely though that Snow is going to get to that shrine and be able to cap it with Vonafil and Alex the Pro G waiting for him. However, he has now been revealed. Snow getting harassed. Yui and Liquid have arrived though. Alex the Pro G just going full ham here to deny this for as long as possible, and he does it in time. We're seeing both shrines in fact going over to
nice
Team
power
Kick.
slide there. But Tetcher, I wouldn't say he's going full ham. I would rather say he's going full beef.
Full beef does work. Yeah, you could say full beef, but little known fact, ETC's a vegetarian, and he ain't scared of him.
Yeah, true enough. Top lane though, Dingo in a lot of trouble as Snow is moving in. He's trying to get out. Has his boosted rockets, but the hook from Sonera missed right there, so it's probably not going to be enough damage. Although, speaking of damage, Snow has to back away from that one.
Yep. And Liquid, though, in the bot lane might not be so lucky. Zombie Ball goes down. Nazimo doesn't get the last auto attack, though, thanks to that Volt by Liquid. Liquid able to get out of there alive. But that does allow Team Kicking coming.
Oh, top lane, Dingo in a lot of trouble. The Gravity Bomb is there, and there's the kill. ESC equalizing the kill count, and now also equalizing the experience count. So it's a very close battle already. And you were talking about the talents on both sides.
Yep.
Pretty standard talents, if you ask me.
They're pretty standard. There's a couple variations. For example, Vonafil able to dimensional shift to keep himself alive. But yeah, pretty standard. We have the Echo Pedal from ETC, which is vastly becoming the most commonly picked talent on him, just for that extra damage when he does engage. We do have the standard stuff from Nazibo, the Gibbon. We have the Death Ritual. Ultimates, very standard. Gorge from Stitches. We have been seeing a lot of the Vile Bile. Hang on, there's a bit of a scuffle in the bot lane.
Yeah, there's a very big scuffle here. Starfall coming out as well.
range.
Liquid able to vault out of there just in time with the help of Snow's Void Prison there. Now they're going to be turning their attention to Volatile, who's forced to use that dimensional shift. The strafe coming out from Liquid as well. And it is a victory due to numbers advantage.
Yeah, we did see huge damage. It was very good engagement coming out of Team Kicking coming, but it did not work out in their favour in the end, like you said. Due to numbers
nice hook
advantage.
there by Sonera. Actually gorging Tastic.
Nom.
Can he actually
He has
get him behind
rockets.
the wall? Yes,
Nice.
he's got him behind the wall. What a
Can
play
he
by
get out?
Sonera.
The first aid has been popped. He's actually backing out. Snow's had to turn around to try and clear this up,
Let's
and
go.
he does. And that is a kill over to Team ESC.
Yeah, and so now to add to that, ESC having both shrines in control, they could actually go for the Dragonite, but there are just a little bit too many heroes from the side of Kick in position to actually go for that. The Psystorm, of course, from Volatile, that's going to make picking up the Dragonite so hard, unless, of course, Sonera comes.
Oh, Snow! Been out of position here. He gets the first stun, able to blink out and pops his first aid for extra healing. Mafurian is also running the Enduring Growth, so he is getting a lot of extra healing done over time as well. Nunia able to back up, does not get caught out by Tassadar and Rolik. Bonafil, though, currently trading with him pretty efficiently. He has taken the static charge again for the extra damage. Rolik having to back away from Liquid. Oh
yeah,
no, he's in
the
trouble
mid lane,
now.
Snow has to be a little bit careful. Actually, yeah, you were talking about the bottom lane. There's the root of the Volatile. The dimensional shift is already gone. The strafe is enough. That's the end of that. But Liquid has to be a little bit careful. Raven Spirit now coming out of Rolik, dealing not all that much damage here. And you were talking about how the team of Kick is actually dealing more damage over time rather than burst damage. And, well, you can already see how powerful Malfurion is against a composition like that.
Yeah, we also currently have 0 stacks on Rolik. He's not getting any of that bonus ability power that he really needs to start getting himself going. Let's have a quick look at Snow. Snow, on the other hand, has 3 stacks. So he is getting, what is it, 15% extra? Is it 5% per stack nowadays?
To be honest, I would need to check. It's 5% plus 2%, so it's 11% that he gets at this point.
Okay, it's only 2% in each one.
Yeah,
Fair
it's
enough.
not all that much. Not as much. Oh, the punt there.
Yeah, it used to be
Pro G
8
getting
level.
kicked
It
in
used
the
to be
face.
8 with
Yeah,
no
I know,
stacks,
but
wasn't it?
look at the Pro G here. He's in a lot of trouble. Has to be very careful that he doesn't get
Oh, the hook!
gets hooked in.
And
He
the
does
root.
have his Marsh Pit, but the Gorge is going to be pulling him out of team range. Marsh Pit.
Shield from Tassadar. He's backing up. Healing Ward is down. That is a great Void Prism, but there's only 3 people here. But in comes Nunia
The
and
rest
Liquid,
team,
blocking
look
off
at
the
Liquid
escape.
coming in from the rear.
Yep, Tasdingo is trying to... Alex the Pro G is trying to back out here. Tasdingo is trying to escape from the top lane. Hook lands on him again. This is the second time he's been caught, and down he does go this time. Divine Storm did go down onto Tyrande, and she did go down as well, so that was a 1-for-1.
But things are pretty good here for ESC because of the fact that they now also get 2 towers out of this one and probably a gate. And maybe a fountain if they want to.
Yep, they're pushing very aggressively at this point. In the meantime, Nazibo has gone to the bot lane just to soak some XP and get stuff going. This game, it's been very interesting from both sides, but right now, we are starting to see ESC get a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, Rollick was in a little bit of trouble there, but the zombie wall is going to keep Snow inside. And all is well. So for now, 14-14 in experience, and we're looking at 503 in kills. So no forts have gone down yet. It's a little bit of a change from last
camp
match.
raid.
Yeah, the siege camp is being taken here by... Yeah, that's a nice power slide.
Oh, nice interruption of it, though. In comes the Ravenous Spirit.
There.
Strafe doing huge amounts of damage. It might actually kill off Alex the Pro G, but no, he does get healed and shielded. And the Ravenous Spirit actually does take down Valor. She went very far in with that Strafe. Zeratul doing huge amounts of damage to Sheep, who's trying to just get in the middle here.
Yeah, beautiful Divine Storm there as well. Sheep will go down. They do manage to pick up Zeratul. Now they're focusing their attention onto Nonia. Who's going to get taken out.
Does he have the dash? Yes, he does. And he goes down to the power slide.
So much being put out here by Team Kick, and it looked like ESC was grabbing control of the match, and Kick was like, no, we're going to take our control back.
Yep.
So yeah, very well done. I have to say, I didn't expect Team Kick to come back this hard.
Yeah, they're doing a very good job. And while this was happening, Nazibo went from 0 stacks to 5 in the time since we last checked. And Zeratul, being killed off in that fight, went down to 1. Tassadar, though, does get killed off by Liquid there. Very nice.
Yeah, it was a little bit overzealous there by Tassadar, but Liquid now coming in. The siege camp is going over to
Team
Snow! Snow is there! Scenario now coming in from the side. He has his hook. The hook onto Pro G. Pro G in a lot of trouble. Will he go down?
He pops his stone skin, trying to keep himself alive. He is running for his life right now. Is there a hook? On the heals! Last second heals. The Strafe being procced out of greed, and he gets nothing. Strafe is now down for another 53 seconds. Very greedy from Liquid there, and now his team can't really afford to fight.
Yeah, and, well, with, let's see, we have Strafe down, but the rest of their ultimates, or rather heroic abilities, are up. And that means, nicely done there by Snow.
Snow just being really annoying in this game, and they got it.
Yeah, Snow is going to go down, most likely.
No, he can get out, he's Blink.
Oh no, wait, they actually got a Dragon Knight in the meantime. Very well played there with the Void Prison.
So like I said, just delayed it in time and then was able to hold it for the next couple seconds. Didn't need to stay there, but was able to deny, and he could have blunked out in plenty of time. But now though, Yui having to back up, is going to tackle Sheep out of here. Oh no,
well,
not
really
very
that
far.
Relentless is stopping, or rather, it's not Relentless, it's just a little bit of a punt. I'm a little bit curious as to why
this bit of terrain here. I think it got confused.
Yeah, it was... no, but still, the fact that the kick isn't that far. I remember it being way further.
It is, that's what I'm thinking. It doesn't push through terrain, so I think it got hit by like this bush in between mid lane and bot lane, and I think it got stopped by that.
It could be. It's really strange. It's really strange because we saw the same happening with Merlin 2 games ago as well. But nevertheless, the fight continues. Yui still has about 10 seconds remaining. Oh, there's the mosh pit. They actually take out Zeratul, so now the team of ESC has to fall back. And so they can't just blow up the Dragon Knight right on top of the fort, because that would immediately kill Yui.
Yep, it is a risky move. Yui does not have much escape inside this. And they are now having to back away from Team Kick Incoming, who are going to counter the aggression that they were facing and start pushing down the fort of ESC here. having a look at some of the talents, we do have the graduating range coming from Sergeant Hammer, but that
there's
doesn't put you out of range of a fishing hook. Tastingo is rooted down, but he gets full healing from his team. Doesn't even unsiege. He does not care. He's just going to take out those towers. He also took down the fort with the help of his team. But that was huge healing and huge shields there. Tastingo just getting hooked and does not care.
It was very interesting that Stitches did not pop the Gorge in that meantime. He was standing next to Tastingo for a few moments and opted not to use his Gorge. And I'm a little bit curious as to why he didn't just eat the tank.
If I had to guess, it would be because the rest of the team would instantly engage onto Stitches, rather me leaving his team with basically there's the hook again.
Once again, those hooks are amazing. Alex, right in the middle of the team. Zanira forced to pop all of his abilities just to stay alive. Snow forced to blink out of there as well. But it looks like Team ESC is looking to turn it around to define. Storm actually misses, and this might be exactly the moment that they have been waiting for. Root on the Volatile. The hook doesn't quite hit, but Tastingo is in a lot of trouble. He's going to get taken out by both Vala and Rand, and now the fight continues. The gravity will, both miss. Actually, it was one that hit, but still, very well played here by Team ESC.
Yep, very well played by them, but very well played by the team of Kick incoming as well. Great cleanses still out of Sheep, able to keep ETC from getting picked off there. We keep Tastar from getting picked off there when he was rooted, just cleansed him out of that route. But for now, they are just on the defensive due to the fact that ETC did come out positive in that fight. Talent-wise, we did see the fishing hook get used twice there. The extra range on that hook is pretty nice. And there's the hook onto Alex the Pro G, does not get rooted though.
I was slide out of that one, yeah. That was a beautiful hook, once again, Tetcher. I mean, those hooks, they have been spot on every single time. If I were the guys from Team Kick, I would be, be very, very afraid of any wall, any bush that they don't have vision on.
Yep,
but fortunately they have Tassadar, so they can at least fix that somehow, but they didn't pick up the reduced Oracle cooldown.
Yep, instead choosing to go for the extra survivability and extra damage, which I think is better in this situation. They do need any kind of damage they can get, and any safety for Tassadar is good here, as if he gets hooked, having that extra dimensional shift from Prescience is pretty good.
Yeah, definitely, but speaking about things that are pretty good, this push coming out of Team Kick with 2 towers immediately going down as well as the gate is also pretty good for them. But the biggest thing that I would like to note is the fact that we haven't really seen any keep falling before they hit level 20. Often enough we see that happening, but in this case, it's not the case. Oh, yeah, it's really close.
So
bottom
close.
lane also, look at the bottom lane with the double siege giant, with the siege giants and the bruiser camp now. So unless they can clear that fast, they're going to lose their first fort of the game.
Yep, and it does go down. They were not able to clear it in time. ETC, though, does grab the bottom shrine to at least make sure that they don't lose the Dragon Knight, as Valor was grabbing the top shrine. ESC grabbing their Bruiser camp while Team Kick incoming spend the rest of this time clearing up the bottom wave, and are now going to head up to the mid lane and begin getting ready to clear all of that. And get ready to possibly fight for the Dragon statue. They're going to make their way up to the top lane and fight for that shrine. Is ESC going to choose to fight
nice
here?
Oracle.
Or are
that
they
Oracle
going...
was revealing everything that ESC was planning.
Yeah.
Snow immediately shown, and if we're actually... I want to be looking at Snow's talents here, having picked up, I believe, the second Gravity Well plus the Wormhole. So I would expect he's going to go for the Rewind ability at level 20.
Yep, Singularity Spike plus Double Bomb is pretty powerful, especially with the amount of stacks that he can get up to. Currently, he is still on 0 stacks. Hook lands onto Sheep. He just divides storms and cleanses himself to keep himself alive. Ravenous Spirit interrupted from over the wall, and he just runs into the Void Prism for no reason, actually. But now, Alex the Pro G did just chase everyone. He's still continuing to push this. He still has Moshpit, and he pops it. He gets Liquid, gets interrupted from the hook, but he did interrupt the strafe. Continues to CC, gets shielded from Tassadar. The rest of his team is behind him, and they are continuing the chase. Alex the Pro G is probably going to die here. He's getting healing warded to keep himself alive. And miraculously, the only person to die there was Zeratul.
I'm a little bit confused as to how Zeratul died, because he was behind the team all the time. Actually, they also get the Dragon Knight, so they're going to continue the push straight onto Sanira. Team Kick just kicking it into overdrive here, as they are going to be hitting their level 20 talents before Team ESC. And, well, I have to say, Team Kick doing a fantastic job with this push. And let's see what they are going to be picking up. I'm expecting the Bottle Storm coming out of ETC. Yeah, there we go. The Ravenous Spirit upgrade coming out of Nazebo.
Yep,
We
and
see
Nexus
the Twilight
Frenzy
Arc
out of
coming out
Hammer,
of
which he should have
Tastar
taken
and Divine
sooner.
Hurricane.
Yep, and there we go. Right now, this keep is doomed. Even if the Dragon Knight wasn't attacking it, Nexus Frenzy Sergeant Hammer is pretty good at wiping this stuff out. However, ESC, oh, very nice there. He actually got cleansed as well. We saw the panic cleanse.
Just to be sure, Tetcher.
Yeah, the panic cleanse is
now
the
they're
best
switching their aggression to the bottom lane. These towers are not long for this world. And, well, the only thing the guys from ESC can do right now is wait until they hit level 20 as well. Hook onto Volatile! Volatile is in so much trouble right now.
He does have his pre-side and dimensional shift.
But it is going to save him, unfortunately, for the team of ESC.
Yep, Alex the Prodigy gonna take a bit of damage here. It's unlikely he will actually take enough damage to cancel out the Dragon Knight. Nice dodging of the hook there by Team Kick incoming. They're going to back out, let the Dragon Knight expire, and make sure Alex the Prodigy gets out safe. And this is basically the only way they're going to lose. If they get caught by Stitches and lose a member and then continue to fight, it's basically the only way they're going to lose at this point, because right now, their team fights are looking a lot better than ESC's every single time.
Most definitely, but if we're looking at Tastar, that's Dimensional Warp in conjunction with the Prescience, it's going to be so hard. You were already talking about it earlier. Even if he gets hooked, he was this close to dying. But that 50% movement speed gave him such a good. Oh, there's another hook straight to Alex the Prodigy. He's forced the Bolt of the Storm straight out of there, and will be able to just walk away with his life. But that's going to be on a 90-second cooldown. No, it's a 40-second cooldown.
Yep, and this is exactly what the team of Team Kick incoming should be doing, and they're doing a very good job of it right now. Just playing very safely, like we have Nazibo. He has the increased range on his Ravenous Spirit, so he can play a lot further back to avoid the Stitches hook. Sergeant Hammer, graduating range, so he has more range, and Nexus Frenzy, so he has more range, can play further back from the Stitches hook. Bolt of the Storm on ETC, so he can get out the Stitches hook. The double dimensional shift talents on Tassadar saves him. Ufa, he doesn't give a crap. He wants to get pulled in so he can Divine Storm, but there's the hook, doesn't land.
And every single time that hook doesn't land is going on about a 16-second cooldown. That means that Team Kick knows, okay, we can relax for a few moments and just position ourselves pretty well. Speaking about positioning themselves, they're heading towards that bruiser camp in the bottom. No,
they need to react.
They were thinking about it, but the issue is they have to deal with the opposing team of ESC, who is consistently putting down pressure. But speaking of ESC, they have to react. There's a bruiser camp in the top lane, and that's dealing quite a bit of damage to this fort.
Yep, they will be able to kill this off and save their fort. But like you said, we did see Team Kick incoming thinking about going for that bruiser camp, but they didn't know exactly where Team ESC were. So instead of taking the risk of fighting in this very enclosed area and having a lot of trouble working out where to position Nazibo, they instead decided to just move away and wait for their moment. And once they saw ESC moving up to that top lane, they took the opportunity, grabbing this bruiser camp and going to grab the bottom shrine.
That is a lot of damage coming out of Sentinel. You just saw Volatile being hit for about 25% of his health.
It does 200% damage.
There's Luke again on the ship this time, so now he might want to go for
himself. He's
fine. Actually,
the bolt!
BOG coming in. Beautiful ult coming out of him immediately. The Napalm Strike doing so much damage to UEI. However, the Void Prison is keeping a lot of the damage concealed.
Rollick's dead. No, the shield! He's still trying to get away. Tassadar and Rollick currently outplaying Snow, able to keep him alive. Alex the Prodigy and Taz Dingo in the meantime are just chasing down the remaining members of ESC, and they will keep going. Nice stun! Able to take out Sheep. Snow with the ambush there, just instant blink, swipe, gone. Just wipes him out there. Taz Dingo giving a bit of chase, but does not want to chase too far. If he gets hooked, then that is devastating for Team Kick incoming, but the 2-for-1 trade still not terrible for them. Instead, we're going to see Tassadar head up to the top lane, grab that shrine, and that's a Dragon Knight.
Yeah, definitely. That's exactly why it's such a smart
or not. Bot lane.
Yeah, they're
sneaky.
Yeah, sure. Well, at the very least, they're going to be and Alex the Prodigy is like, "Where's my dragon? Damn it!
Where are my dragons? What is this?" Oh dear.
Oh man, he should be looking in the basement.
Spoilers.
In the meantime, though, it's Snow moving towards the top lane, going to be trying to actually deal with this shrine here. And then, if we're looking at Tran, she is in position to actually take the shrine, but opts to fall back because she doesn't want to take all that much damage. So, one of the things that we did see before was the fact that Snow, that we saw Azerath before
Yeah,
taking both shrines. That was in a different tournament, and then taking the Dragon Knight. That was
that was Thursday, wasn't it? Where he just took both shrines and then just walked towards the enemy base while his team stopped the ports. That was fantastic.
That was amazing. That was also featured at ETC, giving his life. Same goes for Avala, giving her life just to stop those ports. And then the base rush. I believe it was Alternate who did that.
It was Alternate.
Yeah,
now,
that was
though,
amazing.
Both teams grouping up with all their members. Sheep sprinting in. Divine Hurricane lands on 3 members. Vonderfield going in, but the Void Prism does land onto the Nazi Bow and the Sergeant Hammer, so that's the 2 damage dealers, but that's not going to stop them. Vonderfield able to dimensional shift out of there. No one died in this preliminary engagement, and basically every ult except Mosh Pit and the Gorge and the Starfall, in fact, was popped. So we still have potential for another good engage if the 2 teams decide to do it. Bolt the Storm is not up for ETC, but that's not going to stop him. He charges in. Mosh Pit does not hit anyone. Starfall, though, going to be landing for a bit of damage, and this is going to be ESC's chance. Mosh Pit was the one thing that was really stopping them engaging.
Look at Snow here in the top side, actually forcing people away from Sanira here. Alex Proji is able to actually interrupt the Dragon channeling. However, Sanira just going to be chasing that one down. Did land the hook onto Sheep, but Sheep is a little bit too tanky again. Alex Proji with a beautiful bottle storm straight to Nunia. Nunia is actually going to go down, and now finally Team Kick has the numbers advantage. They want to go for it, but the Strafe is dealing so much damage.
Oh, Divine Hurricane back.
Comes out of cooldown. Now Liquid is in the loft trouble. The stun from Uther actually lands, but in the background, it's Snow who picks off Tassadar, and oh my word, this fight. The hook onto Tastingo, the Gorge onto Tastingo as well.
There's 3 people here. The blink to get him away from his teammate. He's taking a lot of damage. He's trying to take out Liquid, but he doesn't do it in time. Tastingo is down. Rollick now in serious trouble thanks to Snow. Sonera also giving chase, and Snow, there's the sprint. Dodges the hook, and we're going to see Rollick get out of there. It's now Alex the Pro G and Sheep who are trying to back up. Snow is just going to go for the Dragon Knight here. Looks like they're actually going to stay here and deny for a little, but they can only do this so many times. Alex the Pro G going to keep denying it. They are now, the numbers are even, but they need to wait for Rollick to get back. Sheep is taking so much damage. Alex the Pro G can only deny for so long. Well, not anymore.
Yeah, the Void Prison immediately makes it that Alex the Pro G has nowhere to continue the harassment. And Sanira now in the Dragon Knight is going to be taking out this middle fort. And ESC, what a team fight. That team fight lasted so long, but we were talking about this earlier. Uther, he has some heal burst.
No, he's going on to Alex Pro G. No, he's survived.
Not going to happen. But yeah, we were talking about this earlier. The healing coming out of Malfurion is nothing short of amazing, especially over time.
Yep, we can actually see this. He has 90,000 healing compared to Uther, who has 68. Tassadar with 33 and Tyrande with 26. 90,000 healing is mental, and that is coming from the combination of the healing ward, his ultimate tranquility. He has the enduring growth, so every heal he makes with his Q is extra healing, and he has the life seed, which is free heals. You just walk past someone and you heal them. It's like Brightwing, only single target.
Seems pretty good in my opinion. Now they're sending this Dragon Knight into the middle lane, going to deal with those forts, just going to put down some poke damage onto these towers. Towers are going to be falling pretty soon, but they've decided Sanira going into this bottom lane, that's going to be drawing the attention of Team Kick. And, well, Team ESC doesn't really know where they want to be fighting. They're going to be fighting everywhere, because they can't make up their mind where they're going to be pushing. On the other hand, it makes total sense. They have such a big advantage with the Dragon Knight available. Sanira now actually getting locked up by the zombie wall here. He's going to explode rather soon, but this is a very, very good fight here for ESC once again.
Yep. Both teams, actually, though, still quite even. Both for 23. There's the hook onto Alex the Pro G, but he does not care. He's just going to walk away. Didn't even get rooted. Well, got rooted then, but he just doesn't really care. Able to not get picked off. Snow, once again, staying as far away from the rest of his team as possible, looking for anyone who is maybe straying away from Team Kick Incorporated. However, Team Kick have taken down a keep so far, so their mid lane is going to slowly start pushing if Team ESC don't start clearing it up. And we can see Snow doing that right now. Going to be taking out the catapult to give his lane a bit of a chance.
Yeah, so it's pretty equal. If we're looking at experience, we're already hitting level 23, and that's not something we see every single day. We're hitting the 30-minute mark in just 2 minutes, so that's also something you don't see often. Usually, games like these, rather games in Heroes of the Storm tend to end at about the 3-minute mark. But in this case, the hook onto Tazdingo, this might just be very, very bad. Nice ball to Storm, Void Prison, just keeping everyone away from Tazdingo. They're taking out the hammer. Now the stun lands on 2 members here. Volatile forced to pop the Dimensional Shift. Sheep in a lot of trouble. Another stun landing onto him. He's forced to use a Divine Hurricane just to get away. And a hook is going to be able to take him down.
He's already used it. He does go down.
Very well done. And the worst thing is, it's now a 5 versus 3 situation, and ESC should be able to take down this middle fort with the help of the catapults.
Yep, they are in a lot of well, yeah, this is going to be
Make it even worse. Shrines activate.
Yep, Shrines have just activated for 23 seconds. However, Sergeant Hammer will be back in time to at least join in maybe the defensive mid lane. Ufa not going to be
jumping
up
onto
Volatile
here. Here's the double bomb. But it isn't quite enough damage. Doesn't even get through the shield hook. From Zanera misses as well. It's now a 4 versus 3 situation in the middle lane. Oh, the zombie wall! He helping the team off Team Kick so much. This Ravenous Spirit is just flailing angrily. It does deal quite a bit of damage.
Almost got off Yumi, in fact.
Yeah, but it isn't conclusive. I mean, Team ESC now doesn't have to deal with the Nazebo ult, and they can just pick up both shrines on both sides, and then immediately pick up this middle shrine as well. Nunia is already in position. They're stopping Volatile from getting even close in range. Alex the Pro G tried to blink in, but Nunia already has that Dragon Knight. The hook onto Rollick doesn't quite land, but he's able to at least sprint away. Gorge now also being used by Sanira here. Tazdingo in a lot of trouble. Yeah, he's dead.
Yep, this is what you get with late game Stitches versus Sergeant Hammer. If you get hooked, then that can be devastating. Once again, 4 versus 5 in favour of Team ESC. They're going to be moving on to this keep, and it looks like they're finally going to get it. Very little that Team Kick Incoming can do about this. They're going to be backing up to play a bit safe. Down goes the keep.
They have to wait 40 seconds before Sergeant Hammer comes back, and that's also one of the things that Heroes of the Storm. Actually, they're going to go in. Sheep with a beautiful Divine Hurricane. That's a 5-man Divine Hurricane. Immediately take out UUII. Sanira getting hit by the Mosh Pit. That's going to just be enough to take him down, most likely. Yes, they actually do take him down. Nunia in the Dragon form, still wailing on this core. They have to take him out fast. If they don't take him out right now, the shield, though, is going to save the core a little bit of damage.
Snow is also on it. They're just diving this, trying to take it out. Nuni's only on half health. Because no strafe coming in from Liquid. And this is GG. ESC taking game number 1. Very, very close series. But ESC, a couple very good hooks, won them the game in the late game. And that is why we see Stitches banned. If we don't see Stitches banned in the next game by Team Kick Incoming, then I will... I don't know.
You're going to eat your hat.
No, I have too many.
For the team fight, you walk there, you're going to lose your towers.
Yep. So, we are loading in to game number 2 of this best of 3 series between Team ESC and Team Kick Incoming. And I believe we're actually the game that's been going on the longest. I'm just refreshing my bracket. Nope, all the others are still playing as well, so we might actually finish before them, despite starting really late. But for the moment, ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the left-hand side in the blue trunks, it is Team Kick Incoming. And playing on the Tychus, it is Vodafiel, on the Master Skin in fact. Playing on the ETC, it is Alex the Pro G. Rollick is playing the Malfurion Tazdingo, back on his Sergeant Hammer, and it is Sheep playing the Ufa.
And on the other side, we have Chen being played by Sanira, Brightwing being played by UUII in the Brightwing monkeys, the flying monkey skin, Liquid playing the Nazebo, and Nunia, correction, that's Liquid playing the Vala, Nunia playing the Nazebo, and Snow this time, not on a Tassadar, correction, not on a Zeratul, but on the other Protoss Tassadar.
Yep, Yui's running the monkey Brightwing skin here, one of the most terrifying skins in the game. With the horrible face. We do see the 4-man group up in the mid lane out of ESC here. Just going to wipe out this lane for all the XP and then roam down to the bot lane. They actually haven't missed a single minion yet. So they're actually going to get all the XP.
Yeah, Team Kick is pushing a little bit too hard, and as a result, that's why they get all the experience.
It's a weird situation you get into where if you're in the bot lane in the situation, it is better for you to just completely ignore the minion wave in the hopes that some of your minions die.
Yeah, that's basically what it boils down to. It completely goes against the nature of the game, which is push, 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 and make sure that your opponent's towers run out of ammo.
Yep, and in the meantime, though, we are seeing Team Kick incoming, choosing to just continue the huge push, and they've still not missed a single minion, I don't think. I think they may have missed one mid.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, they're way ahead
were
here.
on time.
Nunia.
Oh,
Zombie Wall does land
nice
onto the sheep.
zombie
There's the
wall there.
Polymorph, and the Arcane Barrage is able to take him down. Arcane Flare, sorry. Arcane Barrage is the talent for it. And Brightwing able to assist in picking up that first kill. Both Shrines already going over to ESC, who are playing much more aggressive than the last game. Vodafield taking quite a bit of damage here, having to back up, and that's the
ready
first
on the
Dragon
Dragon Knight. Yeah, that's a beautiful play there, and immediately Dragon Knight going over to ESC. That's going to allow them to get some damage in onto these towers. Vodafield actually going dangerously low, not doing all that much damage to the Dragon Knight on his own, but in top lane, Sanira continuing the fight with Alex, and actually Liquid rotating down to the bottom lane. Tasdingo forced to heal at his fountain. So for now, things are looking pretty good for ESC. In addition, Snow is almost on the fountain. If he can take that one down, that's going to be a huge win for the team of ESC.
Vodafield dropping low, standing in the fire. That's what you don't do in World of Warcraft. You should not do it in this game either. However, he does now have his lane to himself, is going to be able to clear that and get some XP. Yep, kicks Pro-G to the edge of the map, and Snow now going to be working on those towers. Should be able to get it, even with the help of the explosion. Down he goes, and can now finish that off. And that's 3 towers out of a Dragon Knight. It's pretty effective.
Especially for the first Dragon Knight, because we usually see that the first Dragon Knight is only able to take down 2 towers and maybe half of a gate. Bottom lane though, Bananas being tossed out here by...
He's so low. Sorry, Liquid was poking him. He didn't actually get anything, but it was like 1 auto attack, and he's like 2 away from death.
You know the best part about bot lane?
What is the best part about bot lane?
Bananas.
Yay! Well, right now, it's the best part about the jungle. Bananas being taken. Sorry, not bananas being taken. Mercenaries being taken by Yui. You've got me bananas on the brain. Oh dear. For now, though, we are going to see the bottom lane of ESC once again continuing to push this down. Snow tanking a couple Sergeant Hammer auto attacks thanks to his shield. Sergeant Hammer, though, going to be able to clear the minion wave. And they've already taken down the mercenary camp. Very good job by Team Kicking coming there. In the meantime, Snera is doing a very good job in the top lane and is winning his lane very convincingly.
Yeah, and this is the result, of course, of him having...
Nunia!
Bot lane, bot lane!
Run, Nunia!
Run!
Yui is not near enough to give him the heals, even though he
face.
popped the burst healing talent that he has taken. And yeah, this isn't really working out for them. They're turning around to try and get a kill, but Rollick able to heal himself back up. Vodafield also backing up, but he gets a heal from Sheep at the last second.
For now, though, I have to say that was very well done here by Team Kick, because they were a level behind, means that they have slightly less damage, and they still won that fight. But yeah, it looks like Team ESC is not going to be monkeying around in that bottom lane anymore. They're sending in the reinforcements.
This is true. And right now, Tasdingo places mines directly onto Nunia's face, but Tasdingo also able to knock back the zombie wall and get himself out of that pretty sticky situation he would have been in if he had got himself caught. For now, though, they're engaged on Tasdingo. There's the Tastar shield, though. He is pretty safe. Tasdingo also knocking back Brightwing and Tastar, who are just going full aggro onto him. Zombies have trapped Sheep. There's the Envenom, and he does go down.
Yeah, that was a very big burst of damage. Ui is going to stay alive, and that's of course due to the Tassadar shield and his passive. But now, trying to take down Tasdingo, they do manage to take down the gate and hit level 10 before their opponents. So they get their first pick on heroic abilities from the rear, though. Snow coming in, polymorph onto Tasdingo, but he still has rocket thrusters, which suddenly started creating...
Ooh, run, Tasdingo! He's already used his boost! He's soloed the Storm, and the Ravenous Spirit take him out. That's what you get if you... I don't know if you guys... I was about to say I don't know if you guys read it. The odds are almost everyone in the chat does read it. But the thread that was on Reddit this morning... What is your main hero and how do I counter it? And someone just put, Sergeant Hammer, if I've boosted and I stay in the lane, just engage. You've probably got me.
For now, though, Snow already on the second Dragon Knight. And, well, this was the map that Kick picked because they were in the impression that they might win this game really hard. Or at least be able to mount a good counter-offensive. And things aren't looking too good for them. The second Dragon Knight now on the side of ESC is going to be taking out this top fort. That's going to give them a 2-0 lead in forts. And Brightwing actually joined the fight here as well, as he teleports straight onto Sanira. Snow is forced to fall back here. The rest of the team is coming in. There's the mosh pit.
Only onto Yui. Sanira barreling to interrupt it. That's what we wanted to see. Sheep is attempting to get anything done here. He heals up Alex the Pro G. There's the punt onto Rollick. He does get pushed pretty far back. No one did die in that engagement. Nazibo, though, is on the way. He doesn't have his ult up, but he's going to still attempt to harass from the side. Snow slowly getting killed off, and we are seeing a pretty decent defense here from Team Kick incoming. They're actually going to be able to keep their fort alive here. Nunia hanging around the side. He has 2 seconds left till his ult up, but Alex the Pro G is on his face.
Yeah, Nunia is now in a pretty good position for Ravenous Spirit if he so desires, but they're just sitting here for now, dropping the napalm, just going to push them away for a little bit more. But this fort is already down to about, I would say, 1,500? 1,800 hit points. Not like it really matters, it's about 1%. Now it's dead. And level 13 talents now in favor of ESC. So what are they going to be picking up? Sprint coming out of Nazebo, Shrink Ray coming out of Tassadar, Ice Block being picked up by Brightwing. Vala and Chen haven't really chosen their talents yet, but I expect another multi-shot coming out. Yeah, there's a multi-shot talent, also slowing by 40%, and the Enough to Share Fortifying Brew also shields nearby allied heroes for 10 per second. And Tetcher, that's one of the abilities you really like to use.
Yep, when I play Shen, he's one of my top heroes, even after the change. The shield for everyone is fantastic. It is just protecting against any kind of that bonus splash damage, keeping your team very healthy. It's just huge amounts of it's a hugely teamwork-based ability, very effective. And the fact you're going to be brewing for a while, which means you're basically a body in the fight, why not help your team out while you're doing it? It is just a hugely effective ability. However, this is the first time we've really talked about the talents, because there's been so much action happening. Build-wise, we are seeing Vala and Chen going for the standard builds, the health regeneration and the multi-shot. Nazibo, nothing out of the ordinary. Tassadar going a bit more storm-based. He has the Sign Fusion talent rather than the Conjurer's Pursuit, and he's about to have to phase shift to keep himself alive here, and he does get out pretty safely.
You could say that the guys from ESC are currently brewing up a storm.
We could indeed, and I still hate you for saying it. However, on the side of Team Kick incoming, we also have fairly standard builds. ETC running the standard build that we see from everyone nowadays. Block, Echo Pedal for the extra damage, and Guitar Hero for even more damage. ETCs love their damage because they sort of survive everything anyway. Now Furion, going full heal, takes the Elun's Grace to increase his range so he can heal from further away, as the fact that there is a Chen, he may get separated from his carries in some way, shape or form. Sergeant Hammer going for the full range damage with the Giant Killer and the extra range from Advanced Artillery. And Tychus getting interrupted from using his overdrive ability there, which is the build he's going down.
Sanira is going to get caught out here. Nice kick there. Actually, did they turn that into a skill shot?
No, it's not a skill shot. It's just it has a weird animation if someone's moving when you kick them.
Ah, like so. Well, for now, though, Brightwing is already on the top shrine, going to pick up the Sun Shrine here. Sanira moving towards the Dragon Knight. They're going to be forcing away the team of Team Kick as fast as they can. Frog is still in position, wants to be dashing in here. Well, doesn't even have to dash, just smacking his guitar right upside Sanira's head.
Just doesn't care.
Yeah.
He's just dealing with this. He is turning on it, though. There's the jump. He does get stunned. Needs to start brewing. No, he's just going to barrel. He is knocking Taz Dingo towards the team, but instead he's just going to separate Vonderfield from the fight here and rolls back in. Then he didn't, unfortunately, have his stun, but Alex Pro G does get interrupted thanks to the polymorph. And now the Ravenous Spirit will be chasing down Vonderfield. Changes direction to go after Rollick, but it has now expired. Chase will continue. All the ultimates are pretty much expired except for this Odin, which is being chased down, does get taken down by the Hungering Arrow from Valor. And that is a 2-for-0 in favor of ESC.
Look at Sanira, he's already on the Dragon Statue, picks that one up. It's currently a 5 versus 3 situation. 4 versus 3 because Vala is still in the base, but she will be back with just a few in just a few seconds, as she has already mounted up. But yeah, they should be able to take down this fort and probably take down the gates and towers of the next base as well.
Yep, they're going to be able to push this pretty aggressively. Unlikely they're going to keep, like you said, probably just going to be the towers and the gates, but that's not going to stop them pushing very aggressively. Ultimates, the only one that is up is the barrel, unless that's one of the bugged ultimates. I can't tell, because he's inside a dragon.
Seems like a good place to be for now, though. But look at the team of Team Kick, they are getting their ultimates back slowly but surely. Odin is there, Divine Hurricane is also now available, and Snera, he probably knows that his opponent will have to cooldown pretty soon, so punts him away from the team. Just going to be trying to take out the Fountain, does manage to do so. And for now, Team ESC finally back, Team Kick finally back at full strength. And neither team looking to give up just yet.
ESC are actually pretty split up here. If Ufa had charged in, he might have been able to catch someone out and get a kill, but not taking the res. They didn't exactly know where Tassadar and Valor were. And now we see Brightwing stealing the easy camp once again of Team Kick incoming and is going to back up, while Valor and Tassadar are taking the Bruiser camp on the side of ESC.
In the meantime, let's take a quick look at the damage charts because we have some time before the next fight. Look at the hero damage currently coming out of Vala, 25,000. That's double Nazebo's. Nazebo's actually matched by Tastar at the moment and outmatched by Chen. So did they really pick Chen as an assassin in this case?
No,
or is it
Chen's fire is very effective over time and the fact that he lives longer. Whereas Nazebo, because of the composition of Team Kicking coming here, has to play it a bit safer, and he's still doing his job pretty effectively, so it's not too bad. Healing wise, we can see on the same tab, Brightwing once again returning to form and dominating the healing charts with 29,000. Malfurion, who was dominating last game, only 15k, and Ufa with 16.
For now, though, the fight continues in the top lane. Team ESC is moving in here to try and take down yet another tower. Actually, they succeed in taking down the tower and the fountain as they lay on the pressure here in this top lane. For now,
very aggressive Ravenous Spirit being popped very early. Axe the Pro G, though, that's polymorphed, so he can't go in to interrupt. And now it's far too late. You can see him with a bit of indecision there, wondering whether to back up or not.
Oh, Sonera popping the barrel. Misses completely.
Shen did pop the barrel though, and that interrupts the rest of the team. Even if the Divine Hurricane had gone down, Sonera would have been able to interrupt the follow-up. And that's the entire team of ESC just going to be able to walk away here. Sonera getting ready to re-engage. Rain of Vengeance did go down. Alex the Pro G going in. Mosh Pit lands, but the Emerald Wind interrupts it, and down goes Alex the Pro G. Sonera just tagging everything. Yui having to ice block to protect himself from the napalm. Snow has been shrink rage. Sheep able to back out and heal himself to full health. Alex the Pro G, the only one to go down. And ESC, once again, taking another fight. But this time, there were a couple very close moments, but Yui able to save himself with that ice block. Sonera was dropped low, got the shields from Tassadar, and was just able to regen all the way back up again.
So to make matters worse, a little bit worse here for Team Kick, Snow is already on the bottom shrine, is going to be picking that one up. Sonera has to move fast towards this Dragon Knight shrine. Snow is just delaying.
Snow, you can do it. That's an entire team. That's an entire team. Down he goes.
Yeah, he doesn't want to stay there. But they did get to Dragon Knight, so a suicide for a Dragon Knight is always a good thing in my book. Well, at least in terms of what Tassadar was doing right there. Now, Yui has to be a little bit careful here. Does manage to polymorph Pro G, but gets rooted himself. There's the punt of the Pro G. Pro G completely out of the fight. And both Brightwing and the Dragon Knights, the brother and the little sister, are now safe and sound.
Yep. And now what we see is the whole team of ESC currently completely ignoring the Dragon Knight and are just going to be grabbing all kinds of XP and all kinds of push. Nunia currently going for the tower in the mid lane. The rest of the team pushing the bot lane. Dragon Knight does expire, and Sonera just going to barrel his way out of there. He doesn't care, and he is going to be able to escape.
That was amazing. He was like, whatever, you can kill my dragon. I'll just kill your keep instead. And now Sheep is going to be running straight into Nunia and Yui. He has a sprint available in just a few seconds, so until that moment happens, he's going to be saving his Divine Storm. But another thing that we need to point out here, Tetcher, is the fact that the guys from ESC are about to hit level 20. And if they hit level 20 before Team Kick has to wait for such a long time before they can mount a good counter-offensive because of the sheer power that the secondary heroic abilities offer.
Indeed, and I will say, the entire composition of Team Kick...
Look at Alex. Look at Alex here.
He wants it. He wants it. It's Nunia who is the target, but they can't really get him. Root has landed, and Nunia does get caught. Taz Dingo trying to get onto him. Sheep is there as well, and they do take him down. Now Vodafil is being dropped quite low. He does go down. There's the nice Divine Hurricane getting everyone, but now they have very little follow-up. They do stun Yui, though, interrupting his Emerald win. He ice blocks to keep himself alive, and the chase continues. Yui backing up a bit. Nooney and Liquid are pushing forward. Shrink Ray just expired onto Liquid. They're going onto it, but everyone is full health on the side of Team Kicking Coming. It looks like this fight will just end with a 1-for-1 trade. And the question is, how greedy will ESC be with the current push they have?
Well, to be honest, you were talking about that push in the top lane. I would say continue fighting here. There are 20 seconds. Sanera does have to be very careful here. He's going to be able to escape, though, thanks to Yui with the Emerald Wind. He's going to be popping his barrel, so this is going to be most likely the disengage coming out of ESC. And Alex Aproji is looking for the power slide here. He's going straight on the Snow, but still has a dimensional shift.
On Snow, Snow has not gone for the double dimensional shift this time. He doesn't have the one that will activate on lower health. He is just running right now. He's got second strike instead, going for damage. Sheep pushing forward. He doesn't have Divine Hurricane, though, for another 12 seconds. So we will see Snow get out of there alive. And what I was talking about before the fight happened is the entire composition of Team Kicking Coming right now is fully based around that mosh pit landing. If we have a look at some of the talents here, we have Executioner coming out from Sergeant Hammer. Instead of the slowing Q that we might see out of Tychus in another situation, we instead have Relentless and Stone Skin so we can keep himself alive. Sheep being dropped low here, but going to be able to back out. Looks like we might see a full fight, but nope, Nazibo going to be
a little bit early, though, because they're down at least 2 levels here. Emerald Win from Yui just going to keep him alive, actually putting Alex not in really the best position here.
Oh, nice
from Yui is going to keep him alive for just a little bit longer. Now they're going to turn attention towards Brightwing. Brightwing goes down. Sheep is very, very low, but fortunately he has his ghost form.
Divine
Hurricane going out. Snow immediately getting stunned. That's the end of Snow as well. Sanira now in a lot of trouble. He's trying to brew his way out of there, but is he going to be able to escape?
On the lip, catching him there. They're going to kill him off. Down he goes. In the meantime, though, Dragonite's on their core. Rollick has been back for this, but he is just going to base race it. This is what we saw from Alternate. We are seeing them try to B, but Valor is stopping the ports. Liquid is trying to stop Vodafil from going B, and she's doing a good job. Dragonite finally being forced to back up.
Nicely done there by the face melt coming out of Alex and Taz Dingo with the knockback ability from her cannon. That was very, very good. And I have to say, the team kick composition is now kicking into gear. They had to wait until they hit their level 16 talents, and now at level 20, which is going to be very, very soon, they're going to be able to pick up their heroic abilities. I'm expecting Bolt of the Storm coming out of ETC. We have Tranquility now on Malfurion, so I'm expecting him to follow that up with maybe Shield of the Storm. I believe he has that. Nexus Fury. Yeah, hey, double Nexus Frenzy there from both the Sergeant Hammer and Tychus.
Yep, pretty high damage there. Gives Tychus some good auto attack potential. And shout out to Jeeves Hots for coming up with the Chronicles of Nunia.
Wow.
That is amazing.
Wow. That is horrible.
It's amazing.
Even for my standards. But as expected, Malfurion picking up the Storm Shield, double Nexus Frenzy for Hammer and Tychus. So that's going to be a very long-range engage that they can have with the Odin and the Siege mode coming out of Hammer. And that means that the team of ESC, who has been trying to fall back a little bit, has to go in now, because the massive amount of range is just going to be poking them down.
Yep, they are playing it pretty far back. And one interesting talent choice I see at the moment is Brightwing did take the continuous wins, which is going to drop a lot of CC and prevent some of those abilities going down, but it does mean she's not running a second Storm Shield for her team, which is what we would usually see. Zanera playing very far forward thanks to the huge amount of health regen he is going to be getting. Looking for the opportunity to engage Brightwing, completely separated from the team.
Nice Bolt of the Storm! Yeah, they're actually focusing their attention onto Alex. Alex decides, I don't want to use Mosh Pit just on one guy. That's definitely not worth it. ESC continuing to push. They actually send Brightwing to the top lane. Here's the barrel coming out from Snira.
Yeah, barrel coming out. Doesn't really land on anyone, and that means they don't have it to interrupt the mosh pit. Now, Brightwing has arrived, so it's going to be all down to the polymorph if they want to interrupt this. Snow has been caught. There's the mosh pit. Where's the polymorph? Rain of Vengeance is going to be the thing that interrupts it. Raven of Spirit from point blank range onto the face of Alex the Pro G. It's going to be Divine Hurricane from Ghost Uther that does interrupt it. Alex the Pro G being dropped very low here. ESC, they have lost Tassadar. Ufa is down, and Alex the Pro D still continuing to be a massive pain. Nunia gets dropped. It is now Rollick who's being dropped very low. Alex the Pro G does blink out of there. He survives. Sonera still taking everything, but Brightwing goes down. Liquid trying to do the damage, and Sonera just trying to tank for him, but both of them are going to have to back up due to the huge range of damage. But Sonera's going to die, get CC'd out of his barrel. Liquid running for his life, and like you said, team kicking coming from the extra range, extra damage, the extra range, the extra damage that they are dealing thanks to those Nexus Frenzies is seriously helping them in these fights, and the fact that the barrel was popped a bit early, I think.
Yeah, if the barrel was kept, then Brightwing wouldn't have had to position herself so far forward. As a result, they were easily able to capitalize on Brightwing's position, and her Ice Block will save her once, but it won't save her twice, and that's exactly what just happened. And now in the bottom lane, a nice push here. Storm Shield actually being used already, just to mitigate some of the damage being put out here by the keep.
I think they want to end here. They do have Ufa up. He is on the way to join them. They're trying to push in, and we'll have Tranquility up in 17 seconds. They're trying to push it. They have the Dragonite. It is at the point where the Dragonite can just right-click the core if they can get near it, but they can't currently. They're going to have to back up,
they're going
wait
for the
Ufa,
here,
and look for an engagement. Currently, just fire-breathing onto the fountain here. But ESC, they want to engage. Nunia blinking forwards. The aggressive blink from Nunia. That was a mistake. Down he goes. Emerald's Wind is going to stop anyone else from going down, but that was ridiculous. The aggressive blink from Nazibo instantly gets turned on and annihilated. And someone asked for the deaths so you can control 2 quickly so that they can have a quick look. Currently, Nunia has 4 deaths tied with Ufa. Alex the Pro G is just going to right-click the core now. Yeah, barrel roll going to be CCing everyone. Does slow down. There's the Divine Hurricane. Does catch everyone. And we are now seeing down goes the Brightwing. And this is now the point where Alex the Pro G can right-click the core. And that is what he is going to do. Tazdingo also on the core from out of range with his Nexus Frenzy is going to wipe it out. And this will bring the score up to 1-1 between Team Kicking Coming and ESC. What a match indeed. GG. And we're going to go to a final game in this best-of-3 series.
Yeah, well, you win some, you lose some. At the very least, we are now on the Garden of Terror, where people have to fight the Shamblers, collect the seeds, and grow the Garden Terror.
Indeed, and spawning on the left-hand side, it is going to be ESC Gaming. And starting in the bot lane, it is going to be Liquid on the Valor, Nunia on the Tyrande this time. Yui will be playing the Ufa in the mid lane, it's Snow on the Zeratul, and in the top lane, it is Sonera on the ETC.
On the other side, we have Sheep on the Brightwing. We have Rollick running the Tychus. We have Alex the Prog running Stitches. We have Tazdingo running the Nazebo. And finally, with the Harlequin skin. But finally, it's Vanathil on the Tassadar in the middle lane.
Did we actually get a good look, have fun? There is actually all chat in custom games, which I only found out last Thursday. So that's nice. Vanathil playing very far forward, going to be using his Oracle to see who he's laning against and get some early damage onto the towers with his Storm. Very nice there. He knows the Stitches is on his team. He doesn't have to worry about getting caught too much. And he threw his Oracle down very early to play it quite safe. And I heard Poms. That's apples?
Could be fries.
Apples, fries. I know pomme de terre is apples of the ground, which is potato.
Yeah, pommes frites is...
potato chips, I assume.
Yeah, so that means that I believe that just saying that is... it depends. Sometimes you go to... I believe you go to one of the snack bars in Germany and you just say, I want...
There's the hook on Nunia. He is zombie walled. Arcane Flare does go down. He gets chunked, but able to back out. We also saw Yui take a bit of damage, and that is a very good early fight for Team Kick incoming there. However, Tassadar and Zeratul have been trading in the mid lane, and neither of them really coming out on top, both able to heal up. Zeratul, though, going for a bit of a roam. Brightwing.
That was an interesting jump there by Sheep. It's like, I don't want to move. I'll just use the phase shift. The phase shift to jump straight onto Tazdingo. But here's the first knight for the Garden of Terror. That means that, oh, nice hook there over the wall. Nunia forced to run away as he was turned into a squirrel for a few seconds. But Snow already in the background is starting to take some of these camps.
Yep, Snow being sneaky, going to be stealing the camps. Alex the Pro G has now rolled up here, but Snow able to blink out. Hook does not land, and he was able to steal a lot of the enemy seeds. Vonafil currently only grabbing the seeds on his side of the map.
Yeah, on the other side though, rather on the flip side though, this should be a little bit of an advantage. Although, look at the top lane, Sanira already taking some damage, and Vonafil together with Rollick are just rolling in and just forcing Sanira away from all of his creep. Actually, Snow now coming in, Vonafil in a lot of trouble, already popping the dimensional shift. He has nothing left in terms of mana. There's the healing wards. Yeah, that's the end of that. Snow picks up the kill, and First Blood going over to the team of ESC.
Yep, Yui now trying to run away. The rest of his team is behind the enemy team, trying to slow him down, but Yui does not get zombie walled. Liquid now microing his way away from Stitches. Snow going on to Tazdingo here very aggressively, but he is a bit outnumbered. Yui just charging in there. Stun goes down, and we do see Yui.
Oh, Sheep now in a lot of trouble. He's getting chased there by Liquid. One more hit, that's all it takes. But Alex the Prog is like, you want to move in? I'm very good with my hook. Although Alex didn't have all that much mana remaining, so maybe they could have chased a little bit longer.
Indeed. Having a look at some of the talents while the team of ESC starts taking the bottom, or finishes taking the bottom Terror, we do have the standard multi-shot build, the standard ETC build, basically standard from everyone. Some of the changes we do see sometimes, we have Pierce coming out of Tyrande and Block coming out of Zeratul. Sometimes that is changed. Top Terror currently going over to well, it was currently going over to Kick,
here. He's just moving in, picking up some of these seeds, not all that many, and it's a decent exchange here. 96 to 83 means that they actually skip one of these seeds, but neither team getting themselves a planned column.
Yep, this is true. And yeah, like you said, neither team getting a plant golem, but they're still going to be able to continue laning and grabbing the XP. Mercenaries also going to be being taken by ESC, whereas yes, I've completely forgotten how to talk. Team Kick have decided to neglect their mercenaries for a little. We are finally seeing Sheep and Alex the Pro G thinking about it, but Sheep has changed his mind, is instead going to head back to help Tazdingo and just leave Alex the Pro G to deal with it on his own, while Sheep continues to get bribe stacks. He currently only has one. He's about to get his second. There it is. There's the 40. So he now has enough to bribe the mercenary camps if he wants to, which means Alex the Pro G has basically been wasting his time. There we go. Looks like he isn't going to bribe it.
No, he's not going to be bribing it. He's probably going to be moving to the top side of the map after they get into the second Nightfall, because of the fact that if you pick up the Plant Terror, then all mercenaries on the map disappear unless they are either aggroed or player bound. Now Snow actually able to walk right past Sheep and Vonafil, and here is the bribe stacks coming out of Sheep that are not wasted, sending these siege giants into the middle lane.
Yep, and now they're going to be going for their own Bruiser camp to try and get some pressure on that top plane, help out Rollick. It's actually been pushed up a little, thanks to the ETC's passive, which is Rockstar, meaning that all nearby allies get a 20% attack speed bonus for 3 seconds. Minions only get 10%, but it's still helping him push up the lane quite a bit. But now there's these bruisers here, he's going to have a bit more trouble. Speaking of trouble, Tazdingo is under a bit of duress from a bruiser camp of their ESC's own.
Yeah, but ESC immediately falling back here, as both teams are about to hit level 10 here. So Rollick and Sheep, most likely it's going to be Emerald, Wind, and Odin. We see the Ravenous Spirit coming out of Nazebo, Twilight Archon coming out of Tassadar, and Stitches most likely going to be picking up the Gorge, although Tassadar just got insta-gipped. It's like we're playing Unreal Tournament with shock rifles.
Yep, I completely missed that. So they were able to take him down. Ultimates on the side of ESC, however, we do have the Mosh Pit out of ETC. We have Divine Storm coming out of Ufa, the Starfall out of Tyrande, Void Prism out of Zeratul, and the Rain of Vengeance. Took a bit of decision-making time there for Valor, because you want to wait to see exactly what you need, and you don't need to pick it until you need to use it, to be fair. So waiting for the opportunity to work out what's better is pretty nice. Slightly different talent, we do see the Putrid Bile coming out of Stitches.
Yeah, that's something we didn't expect. Gorge is more usual, but then again, who is he going to be picking up? He can pick up Vala, but she has to fall to actually get away from the Gorge. You don't want to be eating ETC, you don't want to be eating Uther. The only real target for the Gorge would be to eat up the Tyrants. And yeah, I'm not entirely sure if that makes it better than picking up the Petrid Baal. So we're heading into the second Nightfall, and there's another thing that I would like to draw attention to, because both teams have the ability of getting 2 Plant Terrors in a row. The hook doesn't quite land.
It isn't very possible for that to happen, but right now, ESC playing very aggressively, stealing that smaller camp. Sonera just tanking Alex the Pro G there. There's the stun, does not land. Sonera also does not get stunned by the actual Terror itself. And both teams just trading with each other here, trading the seeds, looking for their opportunity to engage, and just letting the Golem reset so that they don't get caught. There's the Oracle, catching an eye onto Snow and the rest of ESC here. And Alex needs to be a bit further forward here, needs to try and get a hook. No one in the bush though. ESC have abandoned this top lane and are going to go to the bottom lane and grab all the seeds from there, because if they do, I do believe that they will have enough for 2 Plant Terrors.
It's going to be very, very close. Let's because both sides actually... it should actually be enough, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, each one is 60, doesn't it?
Yes. The big ones have 60, the small camps have 15. Yes.
Yeah. So they will have enough. ETC already starting this. Looks like Snow's going to be assisting him here and throw down some polymorphs in order to protect this area so it doesn't get engaged upon. Plantera inside the Team Kick incoming base has not been taken, but Vonafil is now being back to go and grab that.
Yeah, that's something people need to keep an eye on when picking up the Plantera, is the fact that it has a spawn timer. If you're too late with picking it up, you effectively waste one, and that is that's very, very bad for a team. But you saw Yui, he was like, I want to go in, pop sprint, but didn't quite get the Divine Storm off in time. For now though, bottom lane, Vonafil has joined his team as the Plantera. But if we're looking at ESC, they've already rotated away from this bottom lane and looking to get this middle fort as well.
Yep, they're going to start doing damage to that. Throwing the bulb pretty far back though, trying to get some damage onto that fort, but it does mean the bulb will die quicker. Taz Dingo currently just harassing Snow here, trying to work him down. In the meantime, Team Kicking Coming Plantera in the form of Vonafil is not going to have its bulb killed off. He can just throw it into the main base and start doing damage. Snow playing so aggressively with this bulb, it gets killed off so quickly, but it is keeping the team of Team Kicking Coming busy.
Yeah, that's for certain, but Vonafil now moving in onto this bottom fort. He knows that there's a 5-man squad moving to try and take him out. The face melt is going to slow him down for just a little bit. Here's the curse coming out as well. The stun on the Vonafil, another stun on the Vonafil, but he's so incredibly tanky. Now they're turning their attention to the entire team. Brightwing has joined in, and here's the fight.
We did see the mosh pit down, and it did catch the Plantera as well, but the second the Plantera finished up, it actually kicked Vonafil out of it, as he wasn't in range of the mosh pit when he was in his normal form. Yui taking a bit of damage now, has a Divine Storm to keep himself alive, but it does not make a difference, dies to Rollick in the end. And like we said, second Plantera is available for ESC, but that's not going to save their bottom 4, as that does get taken down. The Bile from Stitches was dropped, but it didn't actually do anything, as he was caught in the mosh pit for almost the entire duration of it. And you were talking about Bile earlier over Gorge. Bile is very effective nowadays and is the more likely to be picked ability because of, like you said, a lot of people are playing very mobile heroes and have great talent and great... Gorge is just much more difficult to land, especially on this map, where the lanes are a lot bigger than some of the other maps. So Bile in the team fights is a lot nicer, especially against ETCs and people like that who are going to be charging into your team. And Stitches can just get in front of people with that anyway to slow them down and do huge damage. And with the survivability build he has at level 20, he gets the bonus healing from it, which will be amplified by his amplified healing.
And that's going to be so humongous. But for now, another Plantera in the hands of ESC. They're going to be looking to take down this middle fort. Should not be too hard, though. The bulb is already slowing all the damage down by just disabling the fort. But yeah, the shield is actually keeping the fort alive for a long, long time. And Snow is having a hard time actually doing anything. He does pop the bulb, but he's so low already. And he still has 1 minute duration on his Plantera.
Yeah, nice shield from Tassadar, saving the fort there. It got very low. There's the hook onto Snow, very aggressive. He does pop out, and that does use up anything that was left from the Plantera. Now, currently, talent advantage is in favour of Team Kick incoming, but they don't really want to engage yet. They're playing it safe, going to be grabbing Mercenary Stitches with the blind hook just in case there was someone waiting to ambush them there. And now it is nighttime. They are going to start grabbing those seeds. They have a seed advantage because they did not get a plant terror in the last night. Or they didn't get a second plant terror anyway, so they do have a bit of a head start. As long as they can force the team of ESC away from the top side, they can make sure that they get a plant terror and their opponents do not. They're in fact going to go to this bottom plant terror and try and force them away from that instead.
Smart move, to be honest, because Brightwing, as she does right now,
Sonera.
can already jump in.
That
Yes,
polymorph.
Sonera is in a lot of trouble.
Nice Void Prism, though. That's going to keep him alive. Sonera is healing up. He dashes it, and we're going to see the Void Prism second this comes out. But no, Emerald's win from Brightwing. Going to disable that. Very nice job there. Alex the Prodigy going to chase forward. There's the Ravenous Spirit. Yui going to sprint, allowing himself to escape there. Stitches is giving chase with the Putrid Bile. Doesn't land the hook. Yui microing for his life here. Does get stunned thanks to the mini stun that Stitches has taken. And Yui, being dropped low, heals himself again. He is able to get out. No one dies.
Well, no one dies. I would say this plant terror, or rather this Shambler, is about to die. Looks like they already have 90 of their seeds. They just need a few more to get themselves their own plant terror and start the counter-attack. Snow now getting a little bit of damage here from Vonethil. The Sentinel coming out as well. Sheep is looking to just knock Yui from his high horse. And it looks like it's going to be fine. Or is it? Sonera with a beautiful mosh pit there. It immediately gets stunned there by Stitches. And the overdrive from Tigers is dealing quite a bit of damage during this entire fight. Alex Proc has popped his ultimate. It's going to go down, though. He's not quite tanky enough yet. But from the other side, though, Taz Dingo hasn't been able to drop a long Ravenous Spirit. I believe it was still on cooldown from the last fight.
Yep, he did use it for the last fight on Ufa, who was able to sprint away and escape it. Fort will go down. Which fort was that? I had a fort selected and it just died.
Left. Middle lane left, I would say.
I'd assume so.
That's probably 48.
I had a fort select. Oh no, hang on. No, there's still one. It's I selected one that's still alive. Yes, it is still alive. I thought it was dead. I looked at it and I saw the health going down. But yeah, middle left fort does survive. And we're now going to see Plant Terror going over to Vonethil. He's going to leave it till the last second, though, so that they have the maximum duration of it and give Stitches as much time as possible for his team to respawn, basically.
I'm just fixing something that should have been fixed a little bit earlier, but at the same time, yeah, you were talking about the Plant Terror. It is now available, but
he's charging in, very aggressive.
Yeah, but he does get it gets the curse off, but it's the wrong target. They can't really focus on ETC, or can they? Oh, he has nowhere to go.
They're chasing him down. The overdrive doing huge damage. Sonera trying to face melt. He gets polymorphed, and he will go down. And that is what Team Kick incoming did need. They're going to push in to top lane by the looks of it now and attempt to grab a keep for this. Throwing down the bulb to clear off the minion wave so that they have some more tankiness with them. But now they're going to kill off as much as they can. We see Snow, though, hanging around the back. He's looking for his opportunity to maybe get a pick off. He has 4 stacks, so he can do quite a lot of damage. Maybe pick off Tazdingo if he's lucky, and that's what he's going to want to do. Brightwing teleporting in, going to just heal the rest of the team, and with the amplified healing from Stitches, Stitches is going to be healed up to full health pretty quickly. And there we go. Odin being popped from Tigers just for that extra range and damage, so he can attack out of range.
You can see Snow here to the side. He's still waiting. You were talking about looking to pick someone off. Yeah, he's like,
needs a good shot. Tazdingo is who he wants. No, he's just going to Void Prism and completely misses his first Singularity Spike, but he's still going to be able to take down Alex the Prodigy. Stunned from Tyrant, chains out of the Void Prism and is able to lock down 2 people. Vonethil having to back up. In comes Yui onto Sheep and stuns him. Ravenous Spirit coming out to try and counter, but he has to back up. Tazdingo is running for his life at the moment. Rollick trying to slow them down with the overdrive, make sure they can't mount, but that's not going to stop Sonera, who just dashes through the polymorph here. The Plant Terror is now over Snow, going in. He wants Tazdingo. He jumps over the wall, gets a Singularity Spike, but cannot land the second one. So Vonethil does survive, and it's actually healed up to full. Sorry, it was Tazdingo who does get damaged and is now healing up to full.
Yeah, but again, a beautiful fighting for ESC. The issue, though, for ESC is the fact that they lost Keep there. That's going to be allowing catapults to go through that lane and put pressure on the top side of the map. And while catapults in the middle side of the map aren't all that bad, because of the fact that you can go to the middle lane and then immediately rotate up to top or bottom, if they are actually like they are now in the top lane, you're going to be forced to send someone there. And unlike the team of Kick, they don't have a Brightwing nor a Felstat to deal with that massive range, massive distance that they have to cover. So, yeah, we're about to hit level 20. Just a few more minions quite a few more minions for Team Kick. But what would we expect? You were talking about the additional healing coming out of Stitches. Brightwing, what would she be picking up? The double...
Well, we saw last game running the extra Novas from the Emerald Wind just for the extra CC. There's still a chance she could be picking up Storm Shield as well. Nazeebo, definitely going to see the ultimate upgrade. Tychus, it's been a bit debatable lately. We can see the Nexus Frenzy again, though, as we did see last game. It worked wonders last time. And Tassadar, going to be the ult upgrade. And we'll only talk about
this might be a little bit better for Team Kick because they don't have... Oh, wait. Of course, they have Brightwing with them. In any case, Snow jumping in, but not all that much damage. Bitter Bile has already been dropped, so that one is going to be offline for another 50 seconds. And Brightwing just holding the line in that bottom lane. Seeds now going... it's going to be an instant Garden Terror for the team of ESC, and they're going to have to pick it up really fast and make the most of it, I would say. Pick that up, start fighting with the opposing team, and maybe pick up a second Shambler as well.
Well, right now we see Team Kick incoming, looking to get the Terror of their own, and they should be able to clear this up pretty quickly. And this will actually, once they've killed this off, give them enough for level 20. They may even get it from the little minions that Vonnefiel's killing, and yep, there it is. Ultimate's being taken. We don't see the extra healing from Stitches, instead taking the Hardened Shield, which is still very effective. And to be fair, his Putrid Bile hasn't actually been hitting that many targets anyway, due to how far back the enemy team is playing from. Rewind is in fact going to be taken on Brightwing just for the extra polymorph to deal with Sonera. And the other ults we did predict right. Big red button coming in from Tychus as one of the talents he has. We have the Annihilating Spirit and the Twilight Archon coming out from Tassadar and Nazeebo respectively.
So actually, if we're looking at ESC, they are just going to wait until they hit level 20 of their own. And at that point, I'm expecting once again, because of the Mosh Pit, Bolt of Storm coming out of ETC, Vala with the Nexus Frenzy, because that's pretty much the only valid option at level 20. The Divine Hurricane coming out of Uther. Then we're looking at Rand, who could pick up the Storm Shield or the Global Star Call. Those are the two, I believe.
She also has Rewind.
I would say Global Star Call. I'm calling it now.
Okay. I think Rewind. I'm gonna take a bit and go. No, actually, they don't have Storm Shield. She's gonna be Storm Shield. For the moment, though, Plant Terror is in. There is a Plant Terror available for both teams.
Oh, this is interesting.
Scouting.
Tetcher. Vala picking up the Bolt of the Storm instead.
Yeah, going for the defensive talent instead of the offensive one. Very nice choice considering there is a Stitches on the enemy team. Does work out very well for them. Currently, Terrors trading blows, trading bulbs, both waiting for their opportunities. Level 10 is available. Stitches basically needs to land a hook for Team Kick incoming to engage, whereas ESC need to basically get a good mosh pit. Ultimates are available for both teams. Everything is up. They just need the good angle of engagement. Vonnefield, a bit separated from his team here, so if he did get engaged upon, he would take a bit of damage and lose quite a lot of duration.
At the moment, things are in favor of the team of Team Kick, just due to the fact that Vonnefield still has a minute remaining on his Plant Terror, whereas his opponents only have 20 seconds remaining, which means that the guys from Team Kick will be having 40 seconds of additional time on their Terror to fight with. And I would imagine that they're just going to be stomping right down the middle and taking down these two towers.
I would agree, and they are going to be rolling down this. Like you said, Terror just expired for ESC, and that's going to be a huge problem for them. Vonnefield, we did see it, we've seen it before, and Team Kick have been very good at this, leaving the objectives to the last second so they can get the most out of it. Brightwing teleporting down to join the team. Both towers now down. This keep is the target if they can get near it. Alex the Pro G looking for his opportunity. He needs to hook onto someone who will be a decent target here. He does not want to hook Sonera unless they can get a very nice double polymorph off and kill him before it goes to go down. They do have Critterize, and there we go. There's the first polymorph. Will we see the second? No, Bolt of the Storm going to keep him alive. Taz Dingo, very low, having to run away, but that's not going to stop Snow chasing him down, and we will see him die. But now Snow having to back out, and the entire team of Team Kick having to run away. Alex the Pro G turning onto Nunia, though. There's the Divine Storm, going to slow down Vonnefield. Alex the Pro G. Vonnefield having to dimensional shift out of there. And that was a good fight for ESC, able to keep themselves alive. Big red button, not able to kill anyone off. But ESC able to survive through the Plant Terror and pick off Nazeebo in the process.
I'm very curious how Team Kick is going to be dealing the final blow, because right now they've been stopped at every avenue, and right now Vonnefield also has to be very careful, but he does have the dimensional shift. Does he have the prescience? Yes, he has the prescience, so we'll be able to just do that twice if needed. For now, though, Planterror going into the hands of ESC. If they are going to be fighting right now, well, they actually decide not to pick up the Planterror. They want to just keep on fighting. As long as the Zebo is dead, they have 8 seconds of advantage.
They have an advantage. If they can force Team Kick incoming away from any objectives, they should do it, as long as they can grab at least some of those objectives themselves. You can see them grouping around here, trying to work out where Team Kick incoming is going. In the meantime, now Zebo has respawned and is on his way to join the rest of his team, and they may attempt to fight, especially if Stitches can get a hook at this Planterror. However, the Planterror has been placed very far back. Alex Pro G looking to charge in. He wants to land a hook, and he could get one here. No, he's very separated from his team. Lands the stun, hooks Sonera, but not really the ideal target. And from point blank,
that was a very short range hook, though.
Yeah.
But then again, look at the bottom lane here. Siege Giants are moving in. The team of ESC has to fall back immediately to deal with that. And that's going to allow Team Kick to pick up not only this Shambler, but they can also now rotate down to the bottom lane and maybe fight over that Shambler as well. Both teams now having a Planterror. This is going to be very interesting. And I believe that, well, again, because of the fact that Team Kick doesn't have the early Planterror, they should be able to win the next fight.
Yeah. This is true, and Team Kick, once again, going to be leaving their Planterror for as long as possible, and it will be Tassadar likely picking it up again. They're all grouping. They're just going to let ESC take the remainder of that Planterror. There's very little they can do about it. I don't believe this will give them another Terror of their own. In the meantime, the top lane minions are doing a fantastic job and are already on the core, which is a little distraction, and Zeratul is actually hanging around the mid lane, going to be clearing this up a bit as well, due to the fact that they just are under so much pressure. And there we go. It's going to be Nazibo, but it looks fit, taking the Planterror instead of Tassadar, just leaving Tassadar alive for the extra shields. And once again, still leaving it till the last moment. They knew they couldn't fight over that Shambler there. So instead, they're going to chill, wait at their base, and wait for the enemy team to get here. Now they have their Terror. They have a full minute on the enemy's Terror, so they're going to go in and play very aggressive with their Terror. Nunia already being bullied
put down here onto Nunia. Nunia in a lot of trouble. He is just barely able to escape this one. And now Tasdingo, with that 1 minute advantage that you were talking about before, and which was mentioned a little bit earlier as well, this is looking really, really good for the team of Kick. Ultimate, well, the Odin has been popped. That's about it on the side of Kick. But the Odin's so important in actually every single fight here. So Nunia is going to get tossed out of his garden form, and now Sanira getting turned into a plant. Yeah, he will be walking away, but this is very, very good for Team Kick, and all they have to do is just delay. If they can do so, then their top lane can fill up, and they can get to the keep very, very fast, because the keep is down to about 6,000 health, which is 50% of its maximum health. And actually, nice build being put out here just to force the team of ESC to deal with it. And now Tasdingo moving towards the fort. Sanira doing a fantastic job in trying to hold the Terror back. But now it looks like it's going to be just like in CSGO. Terrorists win.
He's going to have to back up here, play a bit safer. Throws down a bulb, but this time a bit more aggressively. And he can roll in and take out this keep now, even at the cost of the Planter. No, actually, it's actually going to not be able to kill it off. Vodafone needs to drop a storm in there or something to finish that off. It's so low. One more bulb should finish that off no matter how quickly it does die. And there we go, throwing it away from the enemy team. The keep does go down. That's 2 keeps to 0 in favor of Team Kick incoming. And they are trying to play very aggressively. They're trying to go for this bot keep now, but they do not want to get picked off. I'd also like to point out, we saw earlier, and what we saw earlier...
Oh, Sanira, actually, I want to hold you right there. Sanira was trying to come in from the side here. Does have his power slide available, so he wants to be jumping straight onto the team of Team Kick, but Storm Shield has already been popped, as well as the Buttered Bowl. So Team ESC has to fall back for now and wait for another good engagement. Snow actually a little bit out of position, but fortunately he has all of his abilities available, and that dimensional shift is just nothing short of incredible.
Yep, throwing down the Oracle so they know if anyone is following them. They can see, though, the Sonera continuing to give chase. He does bolt in. Is he gonna... No, he's not, but he gets hooked. That is possibly devastating, but nice... nice Void Prism. Going to be locking down 3 members, and we see the Starfall on top of that. Still no Mosh Pit coming out of ETC. The Emerald Wind gonna disengage, and somehow everyone on the side of Team Kick incoming lived. Will ESC be so lucky? Hook gets a Giant. So it looks like ESC are all going to be able to escape unless I have spoken too soon. Both teams going to be backing up. Oh, Snow looking to try and pick off Tazdingo. He's going very aggressively. And no, it's Snow who goes down. Great turn. Liquid blinking in. That was a bad move. Liquid blinking in, trying to finish off Tazdingo there. And that is a 2 for 0. Devastating. The aggressive blinks out of ETC. Stop it, please.
What I can see, though, is that ESC might get that Plantera of their own, but they're going to be a little bit too late because there's a full team heading straight towards the core with a lot of minions and catapults nearby. So they do get their Plantera, but they're going to be way too late if they are going to Hearthstone now.
They need to Hearthstone. They need to be. And there we go. We're seeing... Oh, no. Yui gets interrupted by the Terror. There's the GG. Well played. They don't think they can do it. And it's Alex the Pro G, Vodafil, and Rollick on the core. Rollick's gonna pop his ultimate and just go for it. Does Vodafil have his up? He does not. But let's go for it. Mosh Pit lands on Sheep. Nukes coming down everywhere. Tazdingo finally arrives. He was coming all the way from base. He got here latest. But that's going to be GG. And Team Kick incoming takes the series 3-2. Very well played.
3-2?
Aggressive blinks. Why?
Have you been watching Tetcher? But amazing, man. Wow. I'm...
Yep, well played. Team Kick incoming. Taking the series. But why? Why aggressive blink?
I don't know. But it was such that Vala blink that cost him the game, and maybe he misclicked. I don't know.
I think he just wanted to kill off Nazibo, but he didn't vault out afterwards. He just got locked down. ETC blinked in, didn't use his ability, and then didn't have blink to get out when he dived in again. And then Valor blinks in and instantly gets picked off. It was
wow.
But
I'm totally